Welcome to Solar Age, the podcast that shines a light on the path to a brighter, more sustainable future. Join us as we explore the transformative power of technology in creating a Solarpunk world.
Hey Solar Age listeners, ready to dive into something pretty cool. Today, it's Solarpunk.
A world where cities are like overflowing with greenery.
And tech that actually works with nature.
Exactly. It's not just an aesthetic, Solarpunk is this whole movement.
Yeah, and it's got this optimistic vibe that's like the opposite of all those dystopian stories.
Totally. For this deep dive, we're going to see if Solarpunk can actually give us some real-world solutions.
We've got articles, research, even some art. So first things first, what makes a Solarpunk world?
Well, one thing that pops up a lot is the cities covered in plants, buildings with gardens all over them.
Like real-life examples.
Well, yeah, the article mentions Singapore's Gardens by the Bay and that crazy indoor waterfall at their airport.
But it's not just about looks, right?
No way. It's like rethinking how we use energy and resources. Totally different.
So everything's renewable.
Yeah.
And we're not wasting anything.
Exactly. It's a closed loop. Instead of just using stuff up and tossing it, kind of like what open source ecology is doing.
Oh yeah, they're the ones who share those blueprints for like tractors and stuff.
You got it. Anyone can build them. It takes power away from those big corporations and gives it back to the people.
Now, speaking of power, what about that Vern Global project in Iceland? They're using all renewable energy for their data centers.
Isn't that wild? And they're blending those data centers right into the landscape.
It's almost like the tech disappears instead of these big, ugly industrial buildings.
Totally. And they're using geothermal energy to power it all. Solarpunk is all about working with nature, not against it.
And it's not just Iceland. That same article mentioned a Swiss company, Climeworks.
They're pulling CO2 right out of the air.
Using clean energy too.
It's like the perfect example of clean disruption.
It's so cool to see Solarpunk ideas happening in the real world.
Especially for people like our listeners who are already working towards that cleaner future.
For sure. And I think the best part is Solarpunk gives us hope, right?
Yeah.
It's a positive way to look at climate change.
Instead of just feeling doom and gloom, it gets people energized to take action.
Yeah. If we can imagine a better future, it's easier to get people on board with new technologies.
Exactly. It's like, hey, if this tech can make life better, why not give it a try?
So it's not just gadgets and green buildings. Solarpunk is about, like, changing our values.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's asking, what if we put people and the planet before profits? What would that look like?
It's definitely something our listeners care about, making a difference for everyone, not just a few.
It's about the bigger picture. Clean energy and tech are just tools to build a better world for everyone.
So far, so good. But Solarpunk can't be all sunshine and roses, can it? What are some of the roadblocks?
Well, this Wikipedia article talks about social inertia. It's hard to change how we do things,
It's like we're stuck in our ways.
And then there's the whole punk part of Solarpunk. That rebellious energy can make it hard to work within the system.
Like, if you want to tear everything down, how do you actually build something new?
It's a tough balance. And we got to watch out for greenwashing, too. Companies trying to look eco-friendly without actually changing anything.
Yeah, that's just a PR stunt. Solarpunk needs to be about real change, not just a new coat of paint.
Exactly. It's got to be from the ground up, not just on the surface.
So are we doomed? Or there anything we could do to bring those Solarpunk ideals into our lives now?
Well, that Earth.org article was all about embracing a DIY mindset. Even little things make a difference, like growing some of your own food.
Or supporting businesses that are actually trying to be sustainable.
Absolutely. And getting involved in local activism. Even small actions add up.
It's about using our voices and making choices that align with those Solarpunk values.
And don't forget the power of art. Sharing those Solarpunk visuals and stories can get people excited about the future.
All right, so we've got this amazing vision of the future, but also some serious challenges. So the big question is, can Solarpunk actually save the planet?
Well, it's not some magic bullet.
No. It's not going to happen overnight.
But it gives us something to aim for, a set of values, a way of thinking about the future. And that's powerful stuff.
It's like a roadmap, not just a destination.
Exactly. Getting to a Solarpunk world takes all of us working together and being willing to change how we do things.
So Solar Age listeners, we want to hear from you. What does Solarpunk mean to you? How does it fit with your work in clean energy?
What parts of this vision really resonate with you? And what are you doing in your community to make a difference?
We're all ears. Share your comments and let's keep this conversation going. Tell us what other topics you'd like to see in future deep dives.
One thing that's really interesting about Solarpunk is how much it connects technology and society. It's not just about swapping out fossil fuels for solar panels.
Yeah, it goes much deeper than that.
This BBC article had this quote from a Solarpunk art teacher. She said, "If we want to survive and keep the things we care about, we gotta change from competition to cooperation."
That's really powerful. It's like the core of what Solarpunk is all about.
Exactly. It challenges everything about our current system. All that individualism and focus on profit.
It's saying, what if we work together instead? And technology can help us do that.
Think about open source software or those decentralized energy grids. They can give power back to the people.
It's about using tech to make things more fair and equal. And that punk spirit is all about trying new things, even if they seem radical.
Like that company in Canada, Carbon Upcycling Technologies, they're turning CO2 into building materials, which is so creative.
And they're using art to spread their message, which is so Solarpunk.
Art is a huge part of this movement. It makes those Solarpunk ideas come alive, It's inspiring.
Speaking of art, did you know Solarpunk gets some of its style from Art Nouveau?
Yeah. All those curvy lines and nature-inspired designs. It's beautiful and functional.
It's about creating spaces that are good for the planet. A&D, good for our souls.
So Solar Age listeners, think about how your work can bring those Solarpunk ideas to life. How can we use tech to build a better future for everyone?
It's a question worth thinking about, and we'd love to hear your answers in the comments.
Now, we've talked about the good stuff, but what about the roadblocks? Like, how do we get past this idea that everything is scarce?
Yeah, we're so used to thinking there's not enough for everyone. Solarpunk says there can be abundance.
But it requires a total shift in mindset. Can we imagine a world where well-being matters more than endless economic growth?
That's a tough one. And this article in Faster Please pointed out something really interesting. Clean energy could actually challenge some environmentalist ideas.
Yeah, there's this worry that even if we have tons of clean energy, people might just use more and more, and that could still hurt the planet.
It means we got to be smart about how we use energy no matter where it comes from.
And that's where the Solarpunk focus on community comes in. We need to move away from these big systems of control and let people have more say in their own lives.
Exactly. Solarpunk wants us to think about new ways of governing ourselves, making things more democratic.
And tech can help with that. Blockchain, peer-to-peer networks, they can make things more transparent and give power back to the people.
It's about using tech to empower people, not control them. So, Solar Age listeners, as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, think about how you can use your skills to build a Solarpunk future.
How can we make a world that's beautiful, fair, and abundant for everyone?
It's a big question, but we believe in you guys. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going.
All right, that's it for part 1 of our Solarpunk deep dive. We'll be back soon with more, so stay tuned.
Something keeps coming up in these Solarpunk discussions. Time. Like this Faster Please article quoted William Faulkner. He said, "The past is never dead. It's not even past." Solarpunk makes us look back at history.
That's different from a lot of future-focused stuff. I guess it makes sense, though, right?
Totally. If you want a sustainable future, we can't ignore what got us here. We got to learn from our mistakes.
It's like the choices we make today will affect things for years to come. Exactly. Path dependency, they call it. Solarpunk wants us to think long-term, like generations ahead.
It's a big responsibility, especially for our Solar Age listeners. Their work is shaping the future.
For real, they're creating a legacy of clean energy and sustainability. But how do we go from big ideas to, real action?
That's the million-dollar question, right? We know the challenges and we know we need to change things. But what does a Solarpunk life actually look like?
Well, the Earth.org article said even little things count. Growing your own food, supporting eco-friendly businesses, getting involved in your community.
It's about taking control, right? Doing what we can to make things better.
And finding your people, building those connections and working together.
That's something I really love about Solarpunk, that belief that we can make change happen.
It's not about waiting for someone else to fix things.
We can build the future ourselves.
Exactly. And tech can help us do it even better. Imagine social media, but for organizing and sharing resources.
All powered by clean energy, of course.
Obviously. The possibilities are huge. So, Solar Age listeners, don't hold back. Use your imaginations.
What does your perfect Solarpunk future look like? What kind of community do you want to be part of?
Share your ideas in the comments, connect with other Solarpunk folks online, And most importantly, start doing something.
Even a small step can make a difference.
And who knows, maybe you'll inspire someone else along the way.
And that's a wrap for part 2 of our Solarpunk deep dive. Stick around, we'll be right back with more. Okay, we're back for the final part of our Solarpunk deep dive. You know, one thing that really stuck with me is this idea of limitless abundance.
Oh yeah, it's a big part of the whole Solarpunk thing.
And it makes sense for our Solar Age listeners, right? They're already thinking about a future with clean energy everywhere.
Exactly. It's not just about swapping out fossil fuels. It's like a whole new way of looking at energy and resources.
Solarpunk says we can have enough energy for everyone.
Clean energy too. No more fighting over those dirty resources.
And it's not just energy. That article from earth.org talked about abundance for everyone.
Food, water, shelter, even healthcare. Everybody's needs met.
That's a big change from how things are now, where it feels like there's never enough to go around.
Solarpunk says we gotta ditch that scarcity mindset. We can create a world where everyone thrives.
And tech is a big part of that, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Solarpunk sees technology as a tool to make things more fair.
Okay, I like that.
Think vertical farms, 3D printing, making communities more self-sufficient.
It's about giving people the tools they need.
Exactly. And that's where that punk spirit comes in, right? Challenging the system, making sure everyone benefits from progress.
Not just the same old people at the top.
Nope. It's about changing those systems, making sure everyone has a chance.
So it's about more than just cool gadgets. It's about changing how we think, right?
Totally. What do we really value as a society? Solarpunk asks us to think about that.
Instead of just chasing more and more stuff, what if we focused on well-being?
Sustainability, social justice,
Building a world where people and the planet come first.
That's the Solarpunk dream. And it's up to all of us, especially those working in clean energy and tech, to make it happen.
So Solar Age listeners, think about how your work can build that future.
How can we use these technologies to help everyone, not just a few?
How do we create a world where everyone has what they need to thrive?
Those are the big questions Solarpunk is asking, and the answers, well, that's where the real work begins.
It's a challenge, for sure, but think about the possibilities. A future with clean energy, abundance, and justice for all.
That's something worth fighting for. So as we wrap up this deep dive, think about what role you will play in building this future.
What can you do right now to make it a reality?
Remember, even small actions can make a difference. We all have the power to create change.
So let's get out there and do it. Embrace that Solarpunk spirit of optimism and innovation.
And let's work together to build a brighter future for ourselves and for everyone who comes after us.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Solarpunk. We hope you found it inspiring and maybe even a little bit challenging. Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know what other topics you'd like us to explore.
And be sure to subscribe to the Deep Dive for more deep dives into the ideas and innovations shaping our world.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep striving for a better world. See you in the next deep dive.
If you enjoyed this episode of The Solar Age, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you won't miss any future episodes. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below about what resonated with you or share any ideas you'd like us to explore in upcoming episodes. Let's keep the conversation about a brighter future going.